broadcast.
Big trouble for Mike Harmon. Lost his number 84 Chevrolet in between turns 1 and 2, and look at the damage to that formerly pretty race car. Harmon, what happens?
Step up here.
Yeah, this is what happens. We talked about you telling your driver what you have to do to get in this show, and he really needed to pick up his practice speed from yesterday, and you drive a little bit harder down in turn 1 than he did any time yesterday, and you just don't know exactly what the car's going to do. It may have bottomed out, Jeff.
Well, it looked to me almost like you see the brake rotor, pieces of brake rotor coming out beneath that car. It looked almost like when the car got down, it got in those bumps, and it upset itself and broke loose a little bit. He tried to chase it up the racetrack, and we saw every time anybody gets up in that area right there, they just can't keep it off that outside wall. And here it goes again. Mike Harmon, 84, rounding hard in the outside wall. I mean, it is killed that left front tire, left side of that car.
Let's take a look in real time.
He was in trouble as soon as he got down in the corner. He got in those bumps and the car slid up the racetrack. Then you start putting more wheel into it, Jeff, trying to get it back to the bottom of the racetrack and just
see if they can beat it. No fun.
No fun at all. Oh, very nervous.
That's where somebody should have told Stanton he was in the field.
Now that is exactly the reason. That's why they said, Andy. I've asked that many times. Why do you run a second lap if you're locked in? And the answer is, well, we want to qualify better yet. But when you're this close,
that's a big mistake right there by not just running that first lap, because he locked himself in the field. Now he's going to have to go to a backup car if he has one.
I don't think he's got a backup car. From talking to the guys yesterday, I think they're stretched pretty thin down there in Rick Ware Racing. So let's see what happened to Stanton here coming out of turn 4 on his final lap.
He already had his hands full the first lap. See, he just gets out of the groove and not enough room to catch anything there.
Car's bouncing through those bumps and just in one bump and out of another bump and out of the racetrack, sliding around. Tough deal. Let's go back one moment, Jerry. I remember when John West Tonley, his crew chief Brad Parrott, said, that's it, stop. One lap. He knew he was locked in. And, get him off the racetrack if you feel like you're not comfortable with that second lap, maybe.
Well, that lap there wasn't comfortable.
A lot of drivers will say, Rusty, that's an opinion. That is my opinion, though.
Well, let me ask your opinion, Andy. Does this car look like it's fixable?
And the guys at Second Chance Motorsports, you know, they really got it turned around, and we got it finally turning. So it turned pretty good there.
It turned real good, and nice saves out there from Tim. He's in the show, guys.
All right, so we can also.
Whoa, look out!
Here we go.
That's a battery came out of that car.
Yeah. And that's Kevin Lepage, and look at the debris flying.
Look at that. Good camera work, guys. Man.
So the monster is now taking its third bite in 2 days. Take another look, as Kevin will not be around for race day.
Well, Kevin Lepage is usually so solid in these qualifying efforts. Car looks good getting in the corner, and then right in the middle, it just turned around quick.
So a tough break for Kevin Lepage, and so we know what.
6. It's Johnny Sauter behind the wheel, and he just got off the track from Camping World truck practice, and this is not what he wanted to have happen.
He was loose getting down in that corner big time. He'd already lost it before we ever got to the corner.
Yeah, the thing about it, if you're a little bit on the free side, you see him going around the 29 car, it's almost like maybe, Jeff, he was on the free side, and when he got on the brakes, it even got looser. Definitely going to have to go to a backup car. This is one of the go-or-go homers. And Rick,
all I felt was rear brake scrap. And now that I pumped the pedal up sitting here, it's good. I mean, I would tell you the truth if I thought I really screwed up, but something happened.
I mean, last week the brake pedal went to the floor too for some reason. It was a different car, but.
Gene Need talking with Johnny Sauter there.
But what I was going to say, we've got a big field of cars here, 48 cars, so we're going to send.
For this afternoon's race at Gateway, the NASCAR Nationwide Series, Danny O'Quinn's first lap, 33.73, was good enough for 17th on the chart, but he was running a second lap, and that's when the bad news comes into play.
Yeah, he got locked in on the first lap. The second lap, he went for it to try to go faster, lost it, clobbered the wall, goes inside, hits the inside wall a little bit, like a lot, and now they got to bring a backup car out. The good thing is that he's locked in.
Yeah, his first
race.
lap was good enough that it's going to get him in the show. But the second lap, now you got to go take this car and repair and go to the second, go to the backup.
I can assure you that when things settle down, they'll get together as a team and say, you know, maybe after that first lap, you should have come across the radio and said, you're locked in. Just give up that second lap.
Former Rookie of the Year in the NASCAR Nationwide Series back in 2006. And while we've got a moment, let's check in downstairs with Jim Noble. Jim?
All right, in the good news part of that category you guys are talking about, how about the run by Sean Case?
34 drivers have qualified. Kyle Busch is the quickest. And let's see what happened to Jennifer Jo Cobb in the 79 car.
All right, you see her weaving, heating her tires, and it just got away from her. Yeah, she was weaving as she left pit road. I saw Mike Skinner do exactly that same thing in Cup qualifying.
Ryan Newman was talking about that on trackside last night, wasn't he, Jeff? About you take off and those tires are cold. And
right, you can spin it in all 4 gears, and he lit them up in 4 gear.
Yeah. And that's pretty common. You know what I mean? You can't blame somebody for that.
I mean, I'm like, I know that was stupid. No.
It's not stupid. I'm not going to call her out on that and say that.
Just seconds ago, 25-year-old Chris Lawson from Troutman, North Carolina. Heavy damage to that 03 Dodge. Let's take a look at what happened.
Yeah, he just comes up out of turn 4 here, and the car looks like it shoves up the racetrack. He just the wheel, gets a little bit loose, gets in with the right rear corner. And I'm going to tell you what, once this thing turns around, that front stretch gets incredibly narrow. You got no place to go. From right here as it goes up, you see the thing snap out from under him. He hits it with the right rear, and I thought he caught up with it almost. But it's happening so fast, you overcorrect. It's just like we talked about Carl and car control. You overcorrect with the steering wheel, whether you're behind on the throttle or whatever. You can be on the brake and the throttle at the same time, but it just gets away from you.
My question, Kyle, from looking at the replays is, do you think that back end came around when he got into the throttle?
Yeah, what happens is you turn the wheel to the left, and you're turning the wheel to the left, you're going up the racetrack, and all of a sudden the front